You wrote in an article this week in Tribune, I don't just agree with the policies, I've spent the last 4 years writing them. So are you the continuity Corbyn candidate then?
Not at all, not at all. It annoys me when people say that, and unfortunately as a woman it annoys me even more. I'm a person in my own right. I was very proud of the Green Industrial Revolution, our Green New Deal that I spent nearly 4 years developing with members, with trade unionists, with green groups, to make sure that we had policies developed from the ground up, and that provided a lot of answers in terms of both what we need to do to tackle the climate emergency, but also what we need to do to kickstart our economy and invest in areas that needed to see new, high-paid, high-skilled jobs, and that would have provided a catalyst for that. And it's sad that we didn't push that in our general election campaign, and we didn't make sure that that was part of the key messaging that went out to our communities.
So if you say that you're not the continuity Corbyn candidate, would you describe yourself as a Corbynite?
I would describe myself as a socialist, and I supported Jeremy from the start because he believed in many of the same things that I did, as many of people within our party do, and indeed many of our MPs do. And what we need to do now is stop labelling ourselves as Corbynites, as socialists or whatever. We are in the Labour Party. We are all socialists within the Labour Party. We need to unite, we need to build a programme that can win, and we need to take our communities to the state that they should be in, where they're invested in, where the quality of life is the highest law in every single community.
Okay, I'm quite keen to get a bit of a picture about the kind of policies that you would pursue if you do end up winning the leadership election. One party, of course, that did end up having a very good election result was the SNP. So if you were a leader, would you ever grant a second independence referendum?
I'm fully committed to the union, and I don't think that should be shaken in any way. But ultimately, the people of Scotland need to make the case, and they've got their own parliament to determine whether they want to push that, and that will be for me as a Prime Minister to review and to look at. And I wouldn't want to inhibit the democracy of people, because that's one of the most fundamental pillars that we're proud of in this country, quite frankly. But no, I don't support in any way the breaking up of Scotland.
But you could
grant the UK.
You could grant a second referendum.
I wouldn't be in favour of it, I'm honest, and it's not something that I'll be pushing for or arguing for. I'll be arguing to keep the union, and I think we need to work very hard as a party to rebuild trust in our Scottish heartlands, which have been declining over time for a variety of reasons. But ultimately, people must feel that they have a democratic voice.
On the House of Lords as well, so you wrote this week that Labour must go to war with the political establishment, pledging a constitutional revolution that sweeps away the House of Lords. Does that mean you want to abolish the House of Lords?
That's right, I do want to abolish the House of Lords, and we'll be rolling out, as my campaign progresses, how we intend to really shake up that constitutional package, because MPs like myself, and you met Laura earlier on, we're fed up of the Westminster bubble, and we're fed up of our communities feeling like decisions about their lives are made in Westminster consistently. We've got to shift power and wealth into our communities, and that needs to be done in a democratic and structured way.
So how would you find a system where there was a check on the activities of the House of Commons? Because that is historically the role of the House of Lords, right?
There would need to be checks and balances in place, but to have a set of completely unelected people doing that, I don't think is right. And I think many people within our communities would not think that was right. We need to have people who are able, experts, people who feel that they're democratically accountable to the communities that they represent, not people who were appointed by parties.
And what do you make of the current makeup of the House of Lords then, the people who are in there?
I don't know a lot about all the Lords, if I'm honest, individually. We've got some fantastic...
Even though you want to abolish them.
We've got some fantastic people, of course, that, have done fantastic things for their communities, but it's not them as individuals that I'm concerned about. It's the fact that they're not democratically accountable to anybody, and I don't think that is the basis of good democracy.
Okay. Now